What is up, guys? JT Resident Dog Fishing back with you, and I'm goofing off with something today that I thought, well, since I'm doing this fly fishing thing, why not make my own? So I picked up a pretty cheap little fly vise from Bass Pro, and been goofing off with it for a little while, and I've found a fly I really like to tie. Show you what I'm talking about. So what I'm going to try and tie today is my version of the EP bait fish. What I'm using to tie it: EP fibers, 3D fibers in backcountry, your EP fibers, the Sculpt-A-Fly in fish belly, the Gamakatsu 1/0 hook. It's the SL12S, and some googly eyes, 3D fish eyes. That's all you need as far as material wise. Tool wise, obviously your bobbin and thread, a bodkin to help you put the fish eyes on, a pair of scissors, some sort of black marker, Sharpie. I use a little bit of head cement and some Zap Goo for putting the fish eyes on. Pretty simple, but let's do it. So you got your hook in your vise. Get your thread going down there. And I'll run the thread all the way back to the bend of the hook. A lot of guys use mono for this. There's about a million different ways you can tie this particular fly. So as far as your EP fibers go, always heard less is more, and I've come to really subscribe to that. So what I'm going to do is just peel off a little bit. That's about how much I'm using there. I mean, it's not even really a pencil width, because most of this is going to get doubled up. I'll rip off 2 of those. And we'll set that backcountry aside. That's crazy. I peeled those off. One's really dark and one's really light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix those together and try and get a combination of the tan and the green. We're going for a pinfish type look. So I want those to blend together. That's better. Now this more blended. So I got 2 lengths of the backcountry. Now I get 2 of the fish belly. Set that aside. Again, not a whole lot of this. On the top, start with your back country, and I'll go, boy, this stuff gets pretty stringy. That's all right. The reason they say go light is because you're doubling this stuff up. So I'll go probably, I'm just going to trim that end off so it's nice and square. And I'll go about, you get a hook length, hook shank length, and double that up. So the back end of that's hanging off probably about 2 inches. I like to twist it up, get that set on top. You want to make sure that's on the top of your hook. Just a couple wraps to lock that down. And I'll fold it back and trim it off so both lengths are even. Now you get that on the top. We'll rotate this sucker over. We'll do the same on the bottom using fish belly. Make sure you get some around the shank of your hook, around the hook point. You're going to get one on the bottom of the back country on the top, fish belly on the bottom. A couple wraps to secure that down. We'll fold it back, trim it just so both sections are even. We'll rotate it back up, make sure both one's on the top, one's on the bottom, and we'll fold them both back. And we'll throw a couple wraps to keep those facing rearward. Boom. Just like that. And now we'll repeat the process. I'll take the other section that I pulled out, and what I typically do with this is I'll fold it in half, cut it, and fold it in half again. And cut it. Both sections. Now these I'm going to start to form the body. Instead of laying it on top and wrapping it down, we're going to loop it under the shank of the hook, fold them together, and lay it back. Throw a wrap down. Flip it and do the same on the bottom with the fish belly. I'm kind of starting to build the body. Not a lot of wraps, just I think I'm using 2 wraps, 2 or 3 tops. other short section of backcountry. Short section of fish belly. And I will do that one more time. So after you do two, it's two, 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 and two. Take another short section just like we did the tail. Lay that down. Get it secured on top. A couple wraps. Fold them back. Come on now. Couple wraps. There's 6 sections on this. Now just give it a little whip finish, or I don't know if it's called, I don't know what kind of finish it is, but we're gonna throw some, let's get your knot on there. As you rotate and throw a drop on the bottom too. Keep the threads from unraveling. Let that set up and we'll finish it up. So there's our basic body. Once your head cement's dry, we're gonna pop it out of the vise, give her a little shake, make sure the fibers get laid out. But that's the basic profile of a pinfish. So now what we need to do is start trimming this sucker down. That's where your scissors come in. So I like to start at the bottom. I want that hook point exposed. So I'll just come. So once you got them back in the vise after you trimmed them, you use your 3D eyes, your bodkin, and your zap goo. So I'll peel a couple of these off, and I'll lay them on the base of the vise, upside down. I'll take my zap goo, and I'll get just a bead on the end of the bodkin. Kind of about like that. And then I'll just stick him on the googly eye, and he goes right on I should have done the other side, showed you, but we'll do it again because I got 2 eyes. So a little dollop of goo on the end. Touch your eye, get him on there. We'll make sure they're pretty even. And there we go. So once you got him, everything's dried up, I'll take a Sharpie and I'll make my vertical bars, just touching into the fibers. I'm not drawing it across, I'm punching in. Turn him over. Get the other side. There we have it. My version of the EP bait fish. I call it the RD pinfish. But I figured I'd try and figure out how to tie some flies, since these suckers are not cheap. So make sure you smash that like and subscribe button so you don't miss me teaching myself how to fly fish. Thanks for watching. See you on the water.